Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai by Hashem Rakakodah. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Excuse me. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video Controversy, or The Controversy over the 12 Tribe Sign. I want to look up the word controversy. Controversy, meaning
Here's the definition of controversy: disagreement, typically when prolonged, public, and heated.
disagreement typically when prolonged, public, and heated. Similar or synonyms: disagreement, dispute, debate, dissension, contention, which is debate, traverse means to, give me a second, let me let this up, bring this up rather. And the only group, which are the former one wrestlers, they're the only group that deal with the 12 tribe sign. You have these Yah Israelites, they don't deal with the 12 tribe sign. And they can't explain Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 16, because it has to be fulfilled. And it wasn't for, there's no evidence of, as I said in previous videos, there's no evidence of Ezekiel walking around with a 12 tribe sign. No evidence of our Lord, the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, the anointed one, Hamashiach. A lot of disagreement or argument about something, usually because it affects or is important to many people. That's why you got the Christians, led by this demon or vocab. He constantly comes up, and that's a controversy. There's nothing that vocab can say that's going to make an Israelite, unless you're a weak ass Israelite, like this last guy that did the interview with Vocab Malone. I'm sure you saw it. If you go to his page, Vocab Malone's page, you go back, I don't know, a month, and he was formerly a part of the 1941 Madison. And then he said he still believes in the Bible, but he doesn't believe in anything that has to do with Israel. He dismisses it. He takes it out of his mind. So he reads the Bible like a Christian, dog going back to his vomit. Controversy surrounding over. There was a big controversy surrounding over the use of drugs in track and field. Fierce, heated controversy, an argument, debate. So you got these the small hats. They're going to label anybody that says anything negative about them, led by the Messiah of this J's, which is Donald J. Trump, and he's doubling down on anti-Sem, which makes these people a special class of people. It's like saying Trump is saying, I'm going to go after, because people make fun of fat people, right? Ugly people, fat people, whatever. Are you going to pass a law? We're going to protect too many people out there is making fun of fat people. We're going to pass a law, and we're going to lock you up if you say anything we think negative about fat people or ugly people, you know, or short people or people that are too tall or whatever, or Italian people. If you make anything joke, anything negative, you know, that would be ridiculous. If you chose one, you know, the president is to protect the executive, highest executive office in the land is to protect the laws, not to protect a special group, which shows you that he's acting as a king. Here I go again. And this guy, he just keeps going. He's like, fuck the courts, fuck Congress, because he's sitting there as a king. You go to the tarot cards, right? Let me do this. And I'm going to get into this main subject. So the thing is, if we say that we're the Israelites, that's anti-Sem to them. Because they, like the old saying is, how do you know this is a fact? Because I'm white and I say so. You're going to lose that white privilege, man. Because the next kingdom, Esau, you're Esau. You don't want to, that's a controversy. If we say you're Edomites, you got a problem with that. Okay, where did I say I was going to go? Oh, I'm sorry. The Illuminati playing cards. Donald Trump sits as a king. Okay, the 1990 card game that predicted 9/11, Donald Trump. Illuminati card. You know what I'm going to do? Let me go to images. There's one where he's actually, and I did this video, went into this before. By the way, this is called the Illuminati playing cards. I'm trying to find where he sits. Oh, it's not. No. It's the. I'm sorry. What's the name of that damn magazine? Is it the Examiner? The Examiner magazine. That's not what I want. What's the name of that magazine? So I hate this. Magazines based on the economy. Oh, the Economist. There we go. The Economist. Let's see what pops up. It's got to be the Illuminati playing cards too. But here you go. He's got a crown on his head. He received a silver crown. This was on Dabu 7 last night. Surrounded by Jays, and he called on Hashem. And they're saying that he's the Messiah. He said that he was chosen. He said that. Look at this. This week in Trump magazine covering counting a king and channeling Miley Cyrus. Right, Miley Cyrus. But he got a crown on his head. We've been comparing him to Nero. A 1-year-old. The eagle. Let me do this. Donald Trump. Let me do this. Sorry. Get in the main subject. Illuminati cards. Let's try it this way. And this was a couple of weeks ago. I went to it and it came right up. Illuminati cards. Donald Trump sits as king on the earth. Let's try it that way. They took it down, I don't know. He's got to be the last guy. The last Trump. He held the Bible up upside down. Let me open this up. Donald Trump, let me do this. Time magazine. Time mag. Like I said, I found it. I'm sorry. There goes a better picture. So he's not president, he's king. That's why when you read in Isaiah 14, it speaks about the king of Babylon. He's not the president, he's the king. King me. That's why he doesn't. He's not concerned about the Supreme Court. You have a balance of power, right? You have the Congress, you have the Supreme Court, which interpret the laws. Congress makes the laws, and the president he enforces the laws. That's what the executive does. President does not. They don't make laws, and he's just making laws. He's like, I'm making the Doge. I'm Elon Musk, which he's a private citizen. Donald Trump. And the eagle. There was an actual eagle, there it goes, in his office. He got nervous at first. And that's what he's going to look like when the missiles come. That's an actual eagle in his office. Donald Trump narrowly escapes being attacked by a bald eagle during Time Magazine shoot. And he looked just like I'm not saying as a joke, he looks just like an eagle. Then look at this, look at this. President Donald Trump holding bald eagle. Here he is flying on the back of an eagle. This ain't no regular devil, man. And he's got to be, Trump is the show closer. He closes the show. Mosai using him, okay, I'm going to use this guy to close the show, which means usher in the microchip. Look at that. Don't he look like a damn eagle? I'm not saying it as a joke either. He looks like an eagle. So anyway, look at this one. Look at this one. The eagle. The eagle has landed. And we know that he's Nero. He's got to be Nero. He's the last guy. Even though Nero wasn't the last. During the time of Nero, the Roman citizens doubted Rome. They said Rome is falling. And you had, especially when you had, right after Nero's death, he committed suicide. Right after Nero's death, you had what was called the year of the four emperors or Caesars. If you put that into Google, it'll mention 4 Caesars that ruled for months and died. Not in this order, but you got Galba, I believe, was first. Otho, Vitellius, and they all died. One of them committed suicide, but the other 2 were put to death by the power of the Praetorian Guard. And then you had Vespasian, which he didn't die. He didn't die inside that year. He became. So during that time, you had a Caesar come up a couple months later. He was dead. Next Caesar committed suicide. So people started saying, when you go into the history, it's saying Rome is dead. Rome is dead. Rome. This is the end of the Roman Empire. So when Vespasian came on the scene, he built it back up because it got to his ear and his son's ear. Everybody's talking about Rome is dead, it's dying, it's the end of an empire, so to speak. And they had to build it back up. They had to restore the faith in the people, the Roman citizens. And the whole 70 AD thing was based on the fact that they wanted to tax a progressive tax. See, with these tariffs, people don't understand economics, and they would understand when you say tariff against a country, they're clapping, yay! What you idiots don't understand is that is a tariff on another country that imports their goods to a second country. Country A imports their goods to country B, and there's a tariff on it, 25%, 10%. That's a tax on you. That's what it translates to. What does a tariff mean? If you watch the financial news, they're saying that. Oh, it's going to hurt the American people. Of course it is. But he's not telling you that. You dummies, you idiots, you poorly educated Americans, you're clapping at the fact. So that's it on that. Now let me do this. I'm not going to put the Hebrew Israelite, black Hebrew. I'm just going to put in the 12 tribe sign. The 12 tribe sign. Okay, this is all right. This comes up. This is IUIC. This is IUIC as well. No, we had put up a, we had got a, why isn't our 12 tribe sign up there? The 12 tribes of Israel. Israel sign. Let's see what comes up. There it goes. This is our sign. So here it is. Look at this. Look at this. The deception. Let me open this up. Okay, so that's a video.
Mike Lawler is pushing another huge tax break for billionaires and big corporations, paid for with higher taxes on middle-class families.
I'm going to give you another goddamn commercial. Okay.
Johnson, teaching the world the true meaning of Isaiah 28.
Okay, good, good. I'm glad the water to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. The King James University. 7 years ago, 12 tribes of Israel chart, the lie on Judah. So these are Edomites. These are Edomites. The tribe of Judah is Judah, the American black, based on Genesis 49. That proves that they're watching us, man. So you know what I'll do? Okay, King James Bible University. This was 7 years ago. 12 tribes of Israel chart, the lie on Judah. And you heard the voice, sounded clearly like a Edomite. You know, a lot of things happening, man. That's why all you brothers got to be out there in the field. What does Luke 10 say? Things are happening, man. And we are divine newscasters. So when there's breaking news every day. There's breaking news, it seems like every couple of hours. So if you're a spiritual newscaster for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you're supposed to be there for the breaking news. Okay. I'll watch this later. So I'm glad I found this. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to ascribe to these demons. Just to get their whatever they came up with. Let me do this. This is called a counterattack. Now maybe these are Jakes, I don't know. Yeah, but you got these maybe they're an Israelite group. I don't know their whole let's see, Elder Michael Johnson, Pastor Master Hebrews of Biblical Law. I never heard of this person. But we do know one thing, the Most High is not dealing with this group of people. They're showing Jake here. See the Jake with the fro. So they probably Yah Israelites. Yeshua, Yahweh type Israelites. Anyway, let me do this. Let me go to all. The 12 tribes of Israel each had a symbol. Anyway, now where? Man. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. Okay, y'all probably seen this before. This was put up a couple years ago. This dude, I guess he came, according to him, he came up under Abba. So he goes way back. He had passed some time ago. Chief of Chiefs, Naphtali ben Naphtali, teacher and historian. If you didn't see this, I'm going to play it now. This is put up by Cedar Israel. This is fair use, fair use.
From our elder and our teacher, and he's standing up there and he's talking and saying, and I can prove it with that book you got right there in your hand, And anyway, that was a great experience. I went up there a couple times. And one time we were.
Yeah, this was the Torah school, which is on which was around the corner from this One West. It was around the corner.
Over there, and they had the charts up, and they had the charts that said if you're Jamaican, you come from this tribe, and if you're from Barbados, it's that tribe, and boom, 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 boom. And read the book, said, hey, come on, Pop. What is, that ain't right. He said, of course, Danny, I know that's not right. He said, but that's the hook. That's how we get them into place, and we wire them up to what's true. Well, years later, after he passed away, and his sons and all of them, they either died or moved away, the Tanakh school began to teach those things as truth. This is the truth, and well, anyway, when we got cut loose by Chief Counsel, Princess Rivka, and my son and I, we kept Shabbat at home and all the holy days. And I didn't know where Bnei Zarkain was, but I wanted to find them because that's where my teacher came from.
Yeah, he's talking about Abba Bivens, and the when you speak about the 12 tribe sign, you got to talk about Abba Bivens because he knew. Because at one time the commandment keepers they were some of them guys were dealing with the small hats, so you have congregation with small hats and stuff, and small hats had the chief positions. They're the real people, the Ashkenazi. Then you had Jake learning. Jake was somewhat accepted, but then it became a Jake thing. The commandment keepers came up, with them, and he broke off, and he was the one, because they just dealt with the Old Testament, the Torah, and the rest of the book. They didn't deal with the New Testament. So Abba Bivens, he went into the New Testament, and of course, in the New Testament, the Messiah is spoken about. And he said there's 12 tribes, and the 12 tribes are scattered through North, Central, and South America, but he couldn't identify them. But, High Priest Ariel had came up under him, along with Masha and Yaikwab, and they, but the spirit got on, you heard this story before, I'm sure. got on him to put the tribes together, and the Spirit showed him this tribe is Judah, this is that, this is this. And I believe it was, and he told that story, him and Yaquab would tell a story every once in a while. And I believe it was like 3, 4 in the morning, where he couldn't go to sleep. And he went to the school, and the Spirit was working with him and said, this is this tribe, this is that tribe. And he was going through the scriptures. And the scriptures and the Spirit led him to, which is the Holy Spirit, the Comforter, led him to Genesis 49, Deuteronomy 33, and then certain other scriptures, which make sense. And it's for those that are the elect that can receive it. Remember when Yahushua said concerning John the Baptist being Elijah, he said, and if you can receive it, this is Elijah which is forth to come. So the same. So if you can't, well, I can't see it. Okay, good. That lets me know one thing, that you're not one of the elect. So why should I waste my time teaching you anything? Now we do know, for example, the Dominicans, right? Let me see. Let me do this. Most Dominicans are West Africans. You had about 50% West African slaves and about 50% Europeans from Spain, and they mingled the seed. That's why you got Simeonites that look like Indians. You had very little Indians, Caribs among them. That Indian look they got from a mixing between West Africans and Europeans, Spaniards, and you got that look. So you got Dominicans that are, just as dark as Michael Jordan, woolly hair. Then you got some that kind of pass for Edomites, so-called white people. Then you got some that look Indian. That's that melding of the two, them two nations. So some of them are Edomites. You got to go by the Spirit. Let me say this. What part of America did the black African slaves go to? Okay, this is not what I want. Southern states, slavery. I gotta phrase this a different way. What part of America did the black African slaves go to? Let me do this. Black African slaves in the Dominican Republic. Okay, black African slaves were brought to the Dominican Republic in large numbers starting in the early 16th century, which is the 1500s. 1505, 1510. Read that again. Black African slaves, which represent Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Black African slaves were brought to the Dominican Republic in large numbers starting in the early 16th century, which is the 1500s, early 1500s. They were the first people of African descent in the Americas and the first to experience the transatlantic slave trade. So you see these Dominican, you tell them that they're African, they're going to look at you like you got 3 heads. Beautiful, right here, BBC. What is this? What is this? British Broadcast News or whatever? British Broadcasting Channel, BBC. So it says Santo Domingo, the city that kept slavery silent, That's why Dominican. No, we were never no slaves. No, you were the first black African slaves. Migua is the only town in the Dominican Republic that honors the abolition of slavery and the contribution of enslaved Africans to Dominica, to Dominican. So some of these Dominicans are actually Judah Benjamin Levi. So you're gonna have Judites. Well, you're a Judite. You were born in America, but your father came from the islands or whatever. So the sign is not, just because you're born in a Judite family doesn't mean that you were Judite. But you're one of the tribes. But it just gives you an idea, and that's a spiritual sign, and it's beautiful because people that say they can't see it, we know right then and there you're not one of the elect. Okay, we're not. You know what I want to do? Since I played that video of Chief Napatali, and he wasn't one of the elect. That's why when after Abba Bivens passed, he just kept the high holy days. He kept the Sabbath, which they kept the Sabbath wrong. But I heard from an eyewitness that came up that lived during the time Abba came up under him, that they had the Sabbaths was based upon the new moon. But I only heard that from one person, and that one person is probably dead because he was old this was years ago. So give me a second. So this is what I want to do. Ezekiel 37:16. Not going to make this too much longer. And I'm not going to do a breakdown on it because you don't need a breakdown. If you part of the elect, you'll see it. Because you can break it down beautifully. I don't see it. Okay, let me go to comment. Cambridge Bible, one stick, i.e., staff or rod, equivalent to scepter, Numbers 7. Ezekiel, children of Israel, after the fall of the northern kingdom, and the name Israel was often used of Judah, the only remaining part of it. Here, Israel of the north is called Joseph or Ephraim. Right. So you got vocab saying, when you go to the 12 tribe sign, it mentions Joseph. Well, Joseph, that proves in Revelation chapter 7 that the 144,000 are not Israelites. They're the body of believers. They're the Christians of all nations. How do we prove that? Because it doesn't say Ephraim. It says Joseph. Well, Joseph and Ephraim is interchangeable. That's in Numbers 1:32. It's in a couple of places. So they're not going to say too much because they don't, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. One stick. These are not rods, as in Numbers 17:6-9. Although Ezekiel may have had the event in mind, the word here is an entirely different. Two pieces. The word there in the Hebrew for the stick is the word plank. for Judah and the children of Israel, and his companions, representative, 2 sticks. And see, they're giving you a lot of verbal diarrhea because they don't have the answers. For Joseph, a stick. Okay, Joseph as including the 2 great tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh. So when you say Joseph, tribe of Joseph, it's referring to Ephraim, but it also refers to Ephraim and Manasseh. But Manasseh is mentioned in that sign, 144,000. Now you see that there's no. They don't say, well, Ezekiel walked around with a 12 tribe sign. Let me do this. Let me do this here. When was Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 16 fulfilled? The prophecy of Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 16 about the 2 sticks was fulfilled when the Israelites returned to Jerusalem in 537 BCE. This was when the representatives from both the 2 tribes and 10 tribe kingdoms returned from exile. When did that happen? Where's the evidence of that? You see, these people don't know. What the hell is that? There's no record of the northern kingdom coming back together. Explanation: the prophecy of Ezekiel 37 is about the restoration of Israel, right, which is now, and the reunion of Judah and Ephraim, the 2 kingdoms. The prophecy also foretells the unification of the Most High's people. What is that? Jeremiah, either Jeremiah 50 or Jeremiah 51. Judah and Israel were oppressed together. That didn't happen no time in history. It's happening right now. We in the slums and the ghettos. The prophecy was given during the Babylonian exile, when the Judean king and many Judean leaders were deported to Babylon. The vision of the valley of dry bones in Ezekiel 37 is a metaphor for Israel's return from captivity. The prophecy will be completely fulfilled when the Messiah returns to establish his kingdom on earth. And this right here is bugged out. They don't know. Like I said, when you deal with these Christians, and even if you deal with the scholars, go into the prophecies, man. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut this short. Let me just go to Ezekiel 37, 16 to the end. Ezekiel 37, verse . So we're going to read, I guess we'll read the whole thing. Back to the basics. Moreover, and then you can ask this you can present this to a Christian. When did this take place? When was this fulfilled? Matter of fact, where did the northern kingdom go? Christians don't know that. Scholars don't know that. It says, moreover, thou son of man, take thee 1 stick and write upon it for the children and for Judah and the children of Israel, his companions, and take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim. And that's why when you read Revelation 7, when it says Joseph, Ephraim's supposed to be there. And for all the house of Israel, his companions. And join them one to another into 1 stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. Now, when was that fulfilled? Where's the record of Ezekiel the prophet walking around with the 12 tribe sign? For that matter, where's the record of Yahushua and the 12 Apostle Paul walking around the 12 tribe sign. This is fulfilled in our time. This is why the Spirit got on High Priest Abba Bivens and High Priest Ariah. He said the tribes are scattered through the Americas, which is true. The fourth part of the earth, the fourth part of the world, and Ariah completed. So now I don't know what the Most High going to do with Ariah, but the Spirit was definitely working with him. The Spirit ain't working with him right now. The scriptures say others men have entered into their labors. We are the other men. We are the authorities, right? Somebody said, well, where's Ariah? Where's this guy? I said, you got to come to us now. And when the children or the sons of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Now, that had to happen. There was one time when the prophet Ezekiel was walking down the street with the 12 tribe sign, and somebody asked him, what is this all about? And he explained it to him. No, that never happened. If it happened, Esau would have a record on that event. And when the sons of thy people, the children of thy people, shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, thus saith Yahweh. And this is us. This represents us. You have a former One West camp that does not bring out a 12 tribe sign, that camp is suspect. There was a time when Nate didn't bring out the sign. When he had, back in 06, 07, 08, he didn't have the sign when he would go out with like Yahweh Shop, and we would get on him. We would say, where's the sign? Where's the sign at? Where's the sign at? Then eventually he started bringing out the sign. But there was a point in time when he was on YouTube that, if you can find them old videos, where he was out there without the sign. And then we were getting on him about not having a long enough beard, because at that time we didn't know he was a police. I said, nah, ain't no cop. That's suspect. He was a cop. That's suspect. Some of them guys in there are former police officers, and they use those little tactics, get information on people. Okay, it says, say unto them, and I had a dream, funny dream, that two guys left IUIC and they said they wanted to get with GMS. It's just a dream. And one of the guys was a prominent member. I'm not going to tell you who it is at this time. And then I said, well, look, you got to go before your congregation, the IUIC. You got to go before them, and you got to tell them you're no longer part of the IUIC and you're officially a part of GMS. And then I woke up. But I remember the one guy, I couldn't recognize his face. The other guy definitely recognized his face. And y'all seen him, y'all know him, So was that a dream? Because I didn't eat I don't eat tuna fish. Did I eat a bad tuna fish sandwich? I took it as a little bit of a vision. And I've been saying this. I've been saying, especially when I believe Trump will introduce the world to the MOTB, and that's what them good old boys and good old girls, them Bible Belt people, because they go on this. One thing about them Bible Belt people, them Edomites down south, which are a lot of them are Jake, Tennessee, the middle of America. They're all religious Christian, born again, born hard believers, and they like that prophetic stuff. So when he introduces the MOTB, they're going to turn against him, man. Like the Romans turned against Nero, and Nero wound up committing suicide. He was so ashamed he committed suicide. Then back there, when Rome burnt, everybody's pointing a finger. He did it. Turned around and blamed it on the Christians, or on the Israelites. And at first, when you go into the history, the people were with it. Yeah, them damn Christians is there. Then later in history, they said, nope, the Christians really wasn't doing nothing wrong. It was Nero. He was the damn demon. So Nero's back, and I did a video yesterday. I went into a number of articles where they compare Donald J. Trump to Nero. And we said it first. came from GMS. No other camp taught. What camp is teaching that? They might be teaching it now. I said this year when he first became president, I said, look, this back in when he swore in January, I believe it was 2021, the 20th or whatever. He swore in. That's around that time where I said, this guy's got to be Nero. It says everything's reincarnated, you know. It says, say unto them, thus saith Yahweh the Most High, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and of the tribe of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick. Now the word there, stick, in the Hebrew is plank of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And the sticks wherein thou writest thou shalt be in the hand before their eyes. When was that fulfilled? You got to give me some type of information that Ezekiel had the sign. He pulled it out one day and people started asking him questions about it. Never happened. It's happening now. Most people that come and inquire, they'll look at us, then they'll look at the sign. Then he might notice them, you know, Dominican, am I Dominican, you know? I'm on the sign, whatever. It says, I had some friends I grew up with, and I became an Israelite, so I wasn't hanging with them, but I was cool with them. And they were like, you know, they were talking, not bad, but one of the guys, he said, he was Manasseh, and he said, they were trying to figure out what I'm into, and the one guy, he said, we're on the tribal sign. We're Manasseh. And I forget who told me that. This was years ago. And I said, well, the spirit was on him. And he was always smart anyway. He said, but no, we're part of that. I remember him saying that. He said, he kind of looked like an Edomite, but he was a Jake, Manasseh. He said, no, we're part of this. We're part of this thing, man. That he's into. We're part of this, man. I know there's a sign. I know the sign. We're Manasseh. I remember that. It says, but the others, the rest of them, they couldn't see it, you know? And some of them were Manasseh too. It says, and say unto them, thus saith Yahweh the Most High, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen. There we go. We're scattered among the heathen. So therefore we mingled among the heathen, planted our seed among the other nations. So we look like everybody on the planet Earth. That's why you really can't get on a small hat, because you know what? Some of them, a certain percentage of them, are actually Israelites. No, that guy can't be. And you look at how white he looks. He don't look nothing like us. Hey, the angel said to John about the multitude in Revelation 7 and 9. He said, who are these people? He said, you know, tell me. He said, these are the Israelites that came out of great tribulation. The great tribulation is the time of Jacob's trouble. Whither they be gone, back to the basics, and we'll gather them on every side, because we're literally scattered throughout the whole earth. But the focus is here in America, not Papua New Guinea, not the Solomon Islands, not Nigeria, not Ghana, not Uganda, not Sierra Leone, you know, not the Philippines, and bring them into their own land, which is ain't no such thing as a flea doctrine. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king over them, and that's King David. He's under Yahushua. Now, General Yohanan says, I'm second in command only to the Messiah. Well, that means you're saying that you're King David, because the second in command to Yahushua is King David on the earth. He's an earthly king. Yahushua is a spiritual king, and he has his father over him, which is the king of the universe. So when General Yohanan says, I'm second in command only unto the Messiah, he's saying in not too many words that he's King David. So he might as well just go ahead and say, I'm King David. I'm King David. Because are they asking him that? I said, so are you saying that you're King David? And they shall be no more two nations, neither, Jeremiah, pressed together, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. So these scholars will tell you, oh, they came back in 537 BC, and they did. No, they did not. No, they did not. The two kingdoms didn't come back together. The northern kingdom went to the other side of the world. And certain scholars will tell you that. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me do this. I'll bring this up real quick. Did the northern kingdom of the Israelites come to the Americas? The idea that the lost tribes of Israel came to the Americas is a theory that became popular in the 17th century. That's the 1600s. These were Edomites. So when they came over here from Europe, especially from England, they encountered the Indians and they said, these are the Israelites. And that was, like I said, it was popular back in the 1600s, in the 1700s, even into the 1800s. The theory called the Israelite American theory was proposed by Thomas Thorogood and Manasseh ben Israel, which they were so-called. The theory was an attempt to reconcile the reality of the Americas with the old world. They don't teach that no more, man. They don't teach that no more. In the mid-17th century, which is the 1600s, some British Protestants, Calvinists or Protestants, vocab would be considered a Protestant. So your predecessors, they believed that those are the Israelites. Intellectuals or scholars believed that Britain was a chosen nation of God's chosen people. Right, you got Jake all up in the UK. They also believed that the New Testament texts like Romans 11:25 referred to the whole New Testament church of the Gentiles, which they went off on that. The northern kingdom of Israel, the northern kingdom of Israel, also known as the kingdom of Israel or Samaria, was conquered by the Neo-Assyrians 722 BCE. The Assyrians deported the Israelites people into captivity. Is it possible that biblical Jewish tribes actually came to America? So somebody said no. Well, it was popular back then. It's not popular now. And the reason why it's not popular now because if we're the people, somebody got to get evicted from the land. I'm sorry, let me come back over here, get a little bit more information. Okay, so let me see this. Columbia Library Journal. Between Two Worlds, the Israelite Amerindians theory. When Native Americans were the lost tribes of Israel. Let me just open this up. This is a whole book. Let me just open this up real quick. Then I'm going to close. open it up. And this is a Smudge's site. When Native Americans were the lost tribes of Israel. Hiawatha's departure, legendary chieftain Hiawatha, subject of the Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's epic poem, River, blah, blah, blah. Read a little bit more. When I lived in the West Jerusalem, I regularly walked past a large post which featured a Native American man. He was wearing traditional clothing and a feathered war bonnet. Just get to the point. Politics. If Israeli Jews gave up the West Bank, it suggests they would only be victimized further, and eventually suffer the fate of the Native Americans. But who could be so right wing as, I'm sorry, let me do this, as to miss the absurdity of the analogy in which Israel is a reservation, and the indigenous beleaguered Palestinians. Well, you know what the story is. This whole thing with the Palestinians and the small hats, right? Just trying to get to the point here. Okay, let me do this. It seems overwhelmingly likely that American immigrants had imported this image, iconic in American culture. I mean, you can read this whole article on your own. The imagined affinity between Jews and Native Americans is the subject of Elizabeth Fenton's new book, Old Canaan in a New... Old Canaan, because Israel's land was Canaan. Old Canaan in a New World. Americans and the Lost Tribes of Israel. She tells the story of what she calls the Hebraic Indian. Let me do this. The Lost Tribes of Israel, according to the Bible, after the Assyrians sacked the northern kingdom. I want the part where they go into the Americas. Let me do it. Let me go over here. The tribes of the indigenous Americans made a convenient couple. Here it is again. Native Americans. Her book does not tell a continuous narrative history, instead examining representative texts in the history of the Hebraic or Hebrew Indian theory. Oh, James Adair. James Adair, 1775, History of the American Indians, for instance, provides a massive collection of anthropological linguistic, which is the language, and historical reports about Native American scholars still mine Adair's book today, in part because I gotta close this. In part because, as Fenton notes, he typically treats the cultures he described with respect, yet he wrote it to to prove the Native Americans were Jews, were Israelites, and in support, these are white people, in support of his claim, he marshals an array of absurd evidence. Well, he proved that they spoke Hebrew. I got the book right next to me. That both Hebrews and native people force menstruating women into small huts for what he called lunar retreats. And they didn't have calendars. They had the sun, the moon, and the stars. So when the Northern Kingdom got over here, they was keeping the Sabbath. What they do? They looked up into the heavens. Reportedly called blasphemers Yahya Algair, which sounds to Adair like the Hebrew name of God. Right, Yahya, which he rendered Yahiwah, Elohim, the power. Adair filtered all his carefully reported ethnographic details through the ludicrous fame, fame, as carefully as he studied Native Americans. So he made it clear that here it is, Old Canaan, in a new world, Native Americans and the lost tribes of Israel. And this is the book. Elizabeth Fenton. So this truth, the truth is overwhelming. You can't get around it, man. This is why they set up this guy Trump, King Trump, to really protect these people. And really it's to protect them from us, because we're saying that we're the people. So you might say, look, we're going to lock you up. First of all, you're gonna have to do DNA tests. You're gonna have to go through the scriptures. You're gonna have to get scholars together. And this is a claim that we're making. So you have to deal with it. Isaiah 13, go before the gates of the nobles. We are the people, and they're afraid. And the fact that we are waking up, and the fact that Ephraim and Judah is coming together, that means, you got a stick of dynamite, and you got a match. You strike the match, and that's dynamite right there. That's an explosion. And all this is coming out in the end. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.